On this episode of the Massive Agent Podcast, I am recording this from Times Square in New York City at the Inman Connect conference, and I'm going to tell you how the real estate industry is really split in two. There's two totally different industries. I'll explain what I mean.
The Massive Agent Podcast, with lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 58 of the Massive Agent Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I am in Times Square in New York City. I am recording this in my hotel room overlooking Times Square. So you're going to hear sirens. You're going to hear construction. You're going to hear lots of background noise because, well, I'm in the middle of New York City during the middle of the workday. So we're just going to have to deal with that. But hey, authentic sounds of the city. I'm at Inman Connect in New York right now, and the conference went from Tuesday until Friday, and I'm going to give you some thoughts, some observations that I've made. It's becoming so apparent to me that the real estate industry has already been split in two. Like, there's two totally different industries, and I'll explain what I mean by that. If you are new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. My name is Dustin Brohm, your host. I'm a realtor in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm with eXp Realty. I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach on all things real estate marketing. Founder of the Massive Agent Society. That's our lead generation, Facebook ads, training and support program. Check that out at massiveagentsociety.com if you want to know how to generate your own leads and become a Facebook ads master. And I'm also the co-founder of the Industry Syndicate Media Network. So I'm kind of thrown off my whole podcast recording routine because I'm not using my normal mic. If you saw my Instagram story earlier in the week, I have this little portable mic. It's called the Samson Go mic, and it's like $40 on Amazon. It's super portable. Like it's like half the size of a deck of cards, and it folds up. It does a really good job for a mobile mic, but the sound is a little off. I'm not, you might hear some stuff that sounds lower quality than normal, but guess what? This is a lower quality recording. It just is, because I'm in a hotel room on the go. We're just going to have to deal. So there's that. Guys, walking around Inman Connect here in New York, and I'm assuming you have not been to an Inman Connect conference, but it's so interesting. We're in Manhattan, and I didn't fully realize this, but there's two totally different real estate industries among agents. There's the agents that are using technology to their advantage. They've been using social media effectively for years. They fully accepted a long time ago that social media marketing and online marketing and technology that's how you do business. That's how you separate yourself from your competition. That's how you effectively market homes and market yourself and your brand. And it's amazing how, especially here in Manhattan, there's this whole other crowd, this whole other industry of agents that don't even have a Facebook page. Like, they don't see the value in a Facebook page because they work off referrals, and they've done it for decades. That's all they do. And even the younger agents, like they still don't have any kind of clue when it comes to online marketing. They wear suits, they wear name tags, they wear lapel pins. You know who I'm talking about. And I'm trying my best not to disparage these people. They're a different crowd than I'm in. Like, for example, when I spoke on stage yesterday, well, when you're hearing this, it was a couple days ago. I spoke on Tuesday at Inman Connect about how to start a podcast. And it was a solo presentation up on the main stage. And everyone's dressed up. Everyone has nice shoes. Like, everyone looks nice. I roll up in a t-shirt and jeans because that's just what I wear. Like, I've literally never worn a suit in my life. I do not own a suit. I've never borrowed a suit. I've never rented one. I've never worn a suit. I've worn a tux. I've rented a tux for my wedding and for, senior prom and all that. But I've never worn a suit. But then there's this whole other crowd, like the vast majority of attendees here at Inman, at least the New York City Inman, that they're in suits, ties, or at the very least, a sport coat. Like, it's so interesting to me. And with talking with these people, they think podcasting is a fad. They think social media marketing is gimmicky. They might have a website, but they don't even have Facebook pages. They think Facebook ads are for the birds. There's just a totally different thinking. And then after seeing some of the content coming out at Inman, it's very obvious that our industry is a lot further behind as a whole than I thought. I knew that there were a lot of agents that needed some help. And that's why I started this show a year ago, is to help agents and loan officers with lead generation, how to get more leads, how to sell more homes, how to market yourself. This is a real estate marketing and lead generation podcast for agents and loan officers. And I started it because I know people need help, but there's people that haven't even accepted the fact that they need help. Like, I don't know how they think they're going to be getting business once blockchain actually becomes something in our industry. Like, blockchain technology is working under the surface, behind the scenes, under our noses. We don't quite see what's going on, but all it takes is someone to release some new product or service or a way of doing things that changes everything overnight. And those who have not been branding, those who have not been marketing themselves online and on social media and have no presence there, they're screwed. Because without brand, without people recognizing who they are and knowing their name and their brand and their company, they don't stand a chance. They just don't stand a chance. And it's, on one hand, it's sad. On the other hand, the competitive part of me is like, well, I'm just going to kick your ass, and most of you guys that are listening, you're going to take over your competition in your local markets because they're doing the wrong shit. They're ignoring what they should be doing to build a brand and to build that name recognition locally, because what they're doing is working up to this point. They ignore what they should be doing for a thriving business 2 and 3 years down the road because they've been getting referrals up to this point. So they don't bother to learn how to generate their own leads. They don't bother with a Facebook page. They sure as hell don't bother with Instagram or LinkedIn. And what's going to happen is they're going to be left behind. They're going to be lapped by the rest of us. And that group of people, that whole other real estate industry, if you will, is a lot bigger than I thought. It's a lot bigger than I thought, and it's not necessarily older agents. It's not the over 50 crowd. Well, it's mostly the over 50 crowd, but it's not limited to the over 50 crowd, because a lot of you guys I've talked to, you're over 50. You get it. You're doing the right stuff. You're implementing the shit that you need to do to win at a local level. And a lot of you are. So it's not an age thing. It's, I'll be honest, I think a lot of it is arrogance, especially in Manhattan. Agents and loan officers are like, well, I'm an agent in Manhattan. I'm a broker. They all call themselves brokers when they're not a real estate broker. Like, they don't have their broker's license. And I know that's just what they call themselves. Like, some people call themselves a realtor. Some people call themselves an agent. I get it. But there's like this snobbiness and snootiness with a lot of these people that have a long list of designations after their name. They think it freaking means something, that they have an alphabet soup after their name on their business cards. And they think that that's just going to carry them forever. Like, there's some agents that are, under 30 that have mentors who are doing shit wrong and don't care about branding because of arrogance or short-sightedness, thinking that what's working for them today will always work. Well, how stupid is that? And then they go to happy hour and talk to their buddies about how crazy it is that technology is moving so fast. And can you believe that, Amazon's delivering packages within an hour by drone now? And can you believe that, this, that, and the other thing? They say that on one hand, and then they don't translate that into their business. That's the biggest mistake ever. If you're one of those people that you're not implementing the stuff we talk about every single week on this show, or that I talk about every damn day, if you're not doing this stuff because you have business right now and you're getting deals now, that's short-sighted. Okay, that's why Blockbuster went out of business, because they're like, no, we're good. We're Blockbuster. Your little Netflix thing, it's, the internet's kind of a fad, or, we're Blockbuster. Well, guess what? They're not Blockbuster anymore. That's the thinking. So stop it. So there's two real estate industries. If you're an agent or loan officer that's really diving in and creating a brand and marketing and taking advantage of all these amazing free tools, the social media platforms, and, spending some money on Facebook ads and learning how to run Facebook ads, you're going to win. You just have to keep going and keep pushing forward. Before I dive any deeper, I wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, Audible. Audible is the sponsor of this episode, and Audible, I've teamed up with them to give you guys a free audiobook for any new customer for Audible. If you go to massiveagentpodcast.com/free book, you will get a free audiobook, any Audible audiobook for free, and a 30-day free trial. And here's what's awesome. If you cancel the free trial, if you cancel during your trial, you get to keep the audiobook. So go to massiveagentpodcast.com/free book. And here's a book that I highly recommend. Last week, I recommended Gary Vee's Crushing It. This week, I think mindset is really key. And if you're struggling with going from the stale, small-minded, and somewhat arrogant side, that real estate industry, and you're trying to get over to the up-to-date, current, marketing, real estate industry that I'm in and that most of you are in, if you're trying to make that transition, your mindset is a huge part of that. You're going to have to change your mindset. And one of the best books that I've read over the last few years is called Relentless by Tim Grover. So go get yourself a 30-day free trial of Audible. Get your free audiobook. Type in Relentless by Tim Grover. It's a black cover. Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's trainer for years. He was Michael Jordan's personal trainer. He also was Kobe Bryant's trainer and Dwayne Wade's trainer. Like, this guy has coached the best of the best, and he is amazing with mindset. Such a great book. It's really helped me out with my mindset, and I think it'll help you guys out too. So go to massiveagentpodcast.com/free book and download Tim Grover's Relentless or any other book you want for free. Whether you move forward after the trial or not, you get to keep it. So here's a little story that kind of prompted me even doing this topic. So one of my good friends, Josh Pitts, he was on this show a few weeks ago. He's the host of the Daily LO Life show on Facebook, and he's a co-founder of our Industry Syndicate media network. So he's here at the conference as well, and he wears hats all the time. Like I usually wear hats, but he's wearing his Industry Syndicate hat. And he's just walking through the conference, and this older agent comes up, some stuffy son of a bitch with a suit, and he's like, "Are you kidding me right now? You're wearing a hat that's so disrespectful and irreverent." First off, is this church? Like, I didn't realize that a real estate conference where everyone's getting hammered, I didn't realize that that's a church, and Josh was nice and kind of, he's like, "Well, okay, thanks, dude," but that's the mindset of these people, of the other real estate industry that I'm talking about. They think that you have to dress a certain way, that you have to act a certain way, that you have to market a certain way, that you have to be a certain way to be a real estate agent. That's arrogance. That's being a snobby son of a bitch. And this guy obviously was. Who does that? I mean, it's a real estate conference, and that same guy was probably pounding, Jack and Cokes a minute ago. But he's like, well, you can't, wearing a hat is so irreverent and disrespectful. That's just a glimpse into this other real estate industry that I'm talking about. These people are going to lose because I'm going to win, and you're going to win. You guys that are implementing the shit that we talk about, you're going to win. You might not win next month. You might not win next year, but I'm telling you, over the long run, if you implement the content marketing stuff, if you take lead generation into your own hands, you're going to win. These people are going to be phased out. They're not going to know what hit them. They're going to be on unemployment, and some of the most arrogant agents among us are going to be some of the most unemployed, and it's going to be kind of awesome. Look, I'm not advocating for people losing their jobs and, having financial stress and all that stuff and bankruptcy. I'm not that's not what I want to see for anyone. But from a competitive standpoint, from a business standpoint, like not everybody can win. The people that are doing the wrong things deserve to lose. These people are. So I can't stress enough how important it is. If you have not yet implemented a content marketing strategy, or started that podcast, or launched your Alexa flash briefing, or started doing a local Facebook live show or a YouTube show, you have to do it. Okay. When I was on stage the other day at Inman talking about how to start a podcast and walking people through that process, one of the biggest things one of my biggest points was that you have to just start. It's like driving a car. Until you start driving, how are you ever going to learn? You can't learn how to drive a car unless you're driving, unless you're behind the wheel. Like, you can't learn that process by reading a book. So you have to start. Whatever show or content strategy that you've been wanting to do, if you're one of those people that's holding back, first off, I get it. I'm with you. I understand. I held back for a long time before I started blogging back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like 4 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. But when I first started, because I didn't know, I had mentors telling me one thing. They're like, look, this stuff works. Here's how you need to do it. And I trusted them. But since I hadn't done it personally, it freaked me out a little bit because it was a big time commitment, a big, it can be a big financial commitment depending on how you do it. And so I held back. But then I started creating the habit of just doing it and learning it along the way. Obviously, this podcast, that when I started this, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I still kind of don't, but I'm doing it anyways. You have to start whatever content strategy that you have in mind, start, because that's how you learn, and you can't improve and get better unless you're doing it. It's going to suck at first. Just accept it. Just accept that fact. But guess what? The more you keep doing it, and if you make it better every single time, pretty soon it's not going to suck, and then it's going to become really good, and then it will become great, and then you'll start getting recognition for it. Like a year ago, I started this podcast, and it was terrible. Fast forward a year, I'm speaking on stage at Inman Connect in the general session on how to do a podcast. Like I'm the one they chose to do that. That just speaks to how you need to start and learn how to do it along the way. Because if I, Dustin Brohm, can do it, I guarantee you can. I'm not special. If you know me, you know what a freaking dumpster fire I am, If I can do this stuff, I guarantee you can too. So I'm sitting here in our hotel room in Times Square, looking out over Times Square. Beautiful sunny day, but it's freaking freezing out there. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go up to Central Park today or what I'm going to do. Am I going to stay in? Am I going to go out and explore? I don't know, but I freaking love New York City. Such a cool place. If you're at Inman, if you were at Inman Connect, go over to our Instagram profile at Massive Agent and send me a DM and just say, hey, I was there and here's my thoughts. I really want to know your thoughts. This is totally unsolicited and completely 100% like not scientific. But since I'm here, I have a little feedback on the conference because a lot of people are like, hey, what's it like? Is it good? Are you learning anything new? I'm not learning anything new. Now, I'm not going to every session. I have a lot of meetings and some interviews and stuff outside of the session. So I'm not going to all the sessions, but the feedback that I'm getting from those who are is that this is very beginner shit. I don't know what happened. I don't know if this is normal for Inman, New York, but the stuff that's being taught is so entry level, like beyond beginner. Like, here you should use G Suite to get a custom email address. Like that's the kind of shit that they're talking about at this conference. Again, two different real estate industries. There's the people that like to them that's revolutionary. Like, oh my God, I should get a custom email address or I should have a Facebook page. Oh my God, I could do Facebook ads. It's a totally different real estate industry than the one that I'm in and that you're probably in. So I really wonder what the overall feedback from most people is going to be with this, but so far it doesn't sound too good. And look, I'm not intentionally an Inman basher. Like I respect the hell out of this organization and what they've done and, appreciate the opportunity to speak. And, I look forward to speaking again, hopefully, if they'll have me back. but like just being honest, the feedback is that it's very, very, it's not tactical. It's way too beginner. It's way too high level, nothing tactical really. And I have been hearing some pretty negative feedback. So I'm curious how the next Inman will be. The one in Vegas. I guess they're doing one in Vegas instead of San Francisco this year. And, I don't know when that is. You can look it up on their website, but hopefully that's a little bit more tactical and maybe a little bit more advanced for the other real estate industry, the one that we're in, that actually like understands marketing and the importance. It's really interesting. So take that for what it's worth. I could be totally wrong. I could just be talking to people who, I don't know. That's all I'm going to say. One of the things that they spoke about yesterday was Alexa flash briefings. It was two sessions before I was on stage. I'm sorry, I keep saying yesterday because I'm recording this on Wednesday, the day before this show is released. So I spoke on Tuesday. A couple sessions before mine, there was a woman on stage talking about Alexa flash briefings and everything. And I think, even though I enjoyed that and I'm fully on board with that, and we have our Massive Agent Minute flash briefing, and I just realized this a week or so ago. We've done 212 straight episodes. 212 straight episodes of the Massive Agent Minute. So all you have to do on your Alexa device or just your Alexa app, you can download the Alexa app. You don't need an Echo device. And then say, Alexa, enable Massive Agent Minute. And then you've enabled our flash briefing. And then listen daily. We have a new one every single day. But they were talking about flash briefings, and I guarantee that went over the head of 99% of the people in the audience. But that one person that got it, it was worth it for them because they're like, wow, no one else is doing that. Everyone else in this room is probably poo-pooing it and like, oh, I don't need to do that. I'm above that. I'm a Manhattan realtor with a fucking name tag, Okay. But one person got that, and they're gonna do a flash briefing, and they're going to crush it in their market eventually. But flash briefings are key. Oh, here's something funny. So when I started my talk, I'm like, I asked for a show of hands. I'm like, how many of you guys have a podcast? And I think there were probably 1,000, maybe 1,500 people in the room, maybe less than that. I'm not sure. I'm a terrible judge of crowd size. I don't know, but I know they had 4,000 registered, so I don't know how many were actually in attendance. One person raised their hand. Only one person had a podcast. Now, they were all in the right room if they want to launch one, but that kind of surprised me. It showed me there's yet another example of this other real estate industry of agents that just don't know any of this stuff. That's fine. Like, if you're listening to this show and you're one of those people, that's awesome. Like, you're in the right place and you're just doing the right stuff. So good for you. But don't be arrogant and poo-poo it and think that you're above it and that you don't need to do that stuff because you get referrals. Like, you work off referrals. Like, that's awesome. How about 5 years from now? Are you still going to be working off referrals, or is that going to dry up a year and a half from now? Like, don't be so short-term minded. Guys, this has been kind of a ranty episode. I didn't really intend that when I started out, but yeah, I've been a little ranty, but hey, I got to do me. I'm a ranty guy. If you missed the Inman Connect session on how to start a podcast, I know that Inman Select members, there's a live stream of it, and they will have the video of it for Select members. Also, I put together all the equipment that you need. If you're going to do a podcast, you really need a decent mic. You need a pop filter, and I don't have a pop filter with me. I forgot to bring my pop filter. So I should post a photo of this microphone on Instagram, but I took some pantyhose that I got from a shoe store. The little pantyhose that you're supposed to put over your feet when you're trying shoes on. I snagged a couple of those and I put a piece of pantyhose over the mic because it's supposed to stop the p. It hasn't worked that well, as you've heard through this episode, so I apologize. But to prevent the P's and the pops, the p sound, you need to have a pop filter. So you need a mic, a pop filter. You need something to record into. You could use GarageBand if you're on Mac. You could use your iPhone. You could use any video editor or program like that. If you're on a Mac, use GarageBand. It's free. If you're on PC, use Audacity. It's free. Those are the programs that pro podcasters use, and they're not that difficult to use. You're also going to need a host, and I use Buzzsprout. Go to massiveagentpodcast.com/Buzzsprout, and they will give you a $20 Amazon gift card if you are a new customer. So if you're looking to launch a show, you're going to need a host. A host is the platform that you upload your audio file to whenever you have a new show, and the host then distributes it to iTunes, Spotify, Alexa, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, everywhere else. The host is what distributes it, and that's where you put in like the title of the episode, the description, all of that stuff is done at the host. So you must have a host if you're going to do a podcast. If you want to know exactly what kind of mic I recommend and the pop filter and all of that good stuff, just go to massiveagentpodcast.com/resources. There's a link to the gear I recommend. It's all in an Amazon list, so you can just buy it through Amazon Prime. And also a link to Buzzsprout, my host, to get that $20 Amazon gift card for new customers. And then you'll be off to the races if you're going to start your own podcast or flash briefing. So if you weren't there in attendance, that's how you can get that information. Or if you're an Inman Select member, just look for the video of my session coming sometime soon. I have no idea when. One of the highlights of my trip here to New York City at Inman was I got to meet some of the leadership of my brokerage of eXp Realty. So I've been with eXp since May of 2018, and I've been able to meet some of the executives that run the company. And my impression is that they're definitely smart people. They're and I mean this is not a disrespectful thing. They're a little nerdy, like you can tell that they're the smart people in the room, like not like I was in high school or college or now. Like they're the smart people in the room, but they're not like stuffy executives. They're not your typical Wall Street CEO or executive, which is awesome. I feel really good about the brokerage. I feel really good about who's running it and who's steering the ship and the ideas that they have. It was nice to meet them, because when you're just an agent with a brokerage and you don't know who's steering the ship, you have your perspective of how things are going, but it's not until you actually meet and talk to those steering the ship that you get some real belief, or you see the full vision, or you really get some confidence that, hey, they're moving in the right direction, or these are the right people to steer the ship. I love that I was able to meet these people. They seem like they really are moving in the right direction and are extremely competent. So I'm stoked about that. I really enjoy being an agent with eXp. They give me the tools I need. They give me, more tools than I thought that I'd have, which is awesome for capturing leads and my CRM and all that stuff. But above that, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, for me, I wanted to create an additional revenue stream above and beyond just commission. Because if you're one-dimensional in where your income is coming from, that's a problem, or it could be a problem. If something happened, maybe you just get bored, or you get sick, or a family member gets injured and you have to stay at home for 3 months with them, and you can't go out showing homes, and you can't take listing presentations, and you stop your marketing. If your income is 100% based on commission, you're screwed. That's a big problem. So what I love most about eXp is it's a great brokerage. They give you a lot of amazing tools, and they give you the ability to have another income stream that comes in passively and residually every single month, just by helping to bring other agents into the brokerage as well. It's a very powerful structure. They took the Keller Williams revenue share model, or the recruiting model, made it more lucrative, made it more simple and better. And that's why you see so many teams flocking from KW over to eXp. It's just a more lucrative, simple program. So I love that. That gives me a little more financial stability each month, whether I'm closing transactions or not. And so I love that. If you're one of those agents that you want to build another income stream, you want to get company stock for closing deals and have, so really there's 2 extra income streams. You get a bunch of company stock, which is awesome. I mean, it's not like you're going to sell that for income, but you're building that up. You're collecting and piling up that stock and the revenue sharing income stream. If you want to learn about what I'm talking about and see how it works, all you have to do is go push play on a video. We don't need to get on a phone call unless you want to. Just go to massiveagentpodcast.com/EXP. Click play And that video, that recorded webinar will walk you through visually what eXp Realty is all about. And then you can see what I saw. You might not like it the same way. It may not resonate with you. It may not be for you. That is totally cool. But at least do yourself the favor of educating yourself on why eXp Realty is growing so fast. Because I'm telling you, we're onto something big, and it's still very small. We only have 16,000 agents, and Keller itself has I'm going to butcher it, almost 200,000 agents. I want to say 180,000. Remax has over 100,000. And then all these other brokerages have hundreds of thousands of agents. We have 16. So do you think there's a growth opportunity? I say yes. To learn more, to see if you want to educate yourself on the opportunity, go to massiveagentpodcast.com/exp and click play on the video. And if you like what you see or you have further questions, shoot me a message. Let's talk. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Dustin Brohm. I am your host. And if you like this show, if you want to continue listening and you don't want to have to remember to tune in every Thursday morning when a new episode is released, please go subscribe in iTunes. Subscribe wherever you listen, but especially in iTunes, please go subscribe to the show. And then every new episode will be downloaded automatically and you won't forget. Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing weekend. Go sell some homes.